Members, if we have a special presentation, if you would lower your voices. Senator Prost.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate the opportunity to take a couple of moments. Many of us on the floor in the last week, as is typical when we come to an end of a session, as we stop to say thank you to the folks that have helped to represent us in the community with the 270,000 or so people that we all represent. And we've heard from several senators who are losing valued members of their staff because new opportunities and new experiences await them outside of the work in the offices that we serve in for the short period of time that we serve. And I'm no different than that, although this is an unusual experience for me. I've had the blessing of having staff that have stayed with me virtually the entire time that I've served in the Michigan legislature, whether that be in the House of Representatives or here in the Michigan Senate. Today, I unfortunately, but with great pride and excitement for Kim Wadaga, thank her for her service and her time. She, of course, well, you wouldn't know this, but she started as a newly minted Michigan State University degree holder. And as that Spartan was a young lady who came in the office, I've had the pleasure in 8 years between the House and the Senate of watching her grow, watching her become a new wife, and also become a new mother, as you can see, because Nolan, 2.5 years old, gets to join us today too. Nolan, if he speaks up, can be included in the journal, Madam President, I'm sure, with his comments. I think all of us know that for the most part, the work that we do is thankless. We, as the members of the legislature, receive the adulation. We're the ones that receive some of the grief. But the folks who are behind the scenes every day giving of their all for the constituents that we serve are folks like Kim Wadaga and Rebecca O'Connell and Trenton Miller in my office, Bob Wolfer before him, Adam Mensinger in my district office. That team that gathers together every day to make a difference in the community is no different than your team. But for me, it's the best team. And Kim has been a part of that as she has grown into what will soon be a new title in her life as the Legislative and Budget Director for Representative Cox, the new Appropriations Chairman in the House of Representatives in the next term. That, to me, is the hallmark of somebody who has grown and developed into a fantastic staff member, a knowledgeable staff member, and Kim, most especially, a good friend. Since I've had the pleasure of watching her grow over these years and knowing that she's continued to become a key part of service in our community, as we say thank you and we say goodbye, I know that our offices will not be too far apart. I know that the chambers are not too far apart, and Kim, you and your family and your husband, Jason, who is not allowed on the floor, as you might know. He's up in the gallery. And Nolan will never be far away from our hearts. And we thank you for your service. We thank you for all that you have done to support the people of Southwest Michigan, and in particular, Kim, to support me and the work that I've done to try to make a difference. You've been a blessing to all of us. You're not far away from our hearts. You're just a chamber across. And Madam President, if you would all please join me in first acknowledging Kim for her service, thanking her for her service, and then perhaps even including these comments in the journal, I'd be grateful. Thank you, Madam President.
Members, let's thank Kim Wadaga for her exemplary service. Senator Prost moves that his remarks be printed in the journal.